Hey traders, Nick here looking at Palantir after hours. Why? Because somebody asked. Somebody said I'll share it with a gigantic group on Discord. Let's see. Okay, so I haven't done a video on Palantir in a while. The company prospects have not changed much. The price of the stock has. It's been stuck in a whirlwind of anything that looks like something that ARK Invest would partake in has been under fire. So maybe it's trying to divest itself from it. I thought it was green earlier today. Anyway, today is the 20th April. And the markets were kind of wishy-washy. They were split. There was some weakness in the post-Netflix debacle in some areas, but not others. So anyway, in the chat room, in the live room where I share my screens to hundreds of people, today we had 270 people, plus or minus, all day, almost from the open until about 40 minutes after the close, because we watched, sorry about the noise if you can hear it, that is my son hacking up a long travel truck, trying to reroute the fill spout. Anyway, so the idea that Palantir deserves to be treated like many of the ARK stocks is wrong. It stands on its own merit. Maybe it's trying to establish a base finally. So the last time they reported, I took a snippet just to remind me of the stupidity of these experts. Their concern was that they are selling more apples than oranges, and they should worry about that. So basically they have the government side business and the commercial side business, and the government side is either falling or not growing as fast. But the company managed to grow its sales overall, so I'm not too concerned that the growth is in danger if they can still figure it out by, hey, if they're not selling oranges, meaning the government, they're selling more apples, who cares? If the overall sales are going to grow, that's what matters, right? Okay, so I will be pinned to see what the company says in their next earnings to see if the growth is out of touch. Now, recently, Wall Street has rejected stocks that have these lines growing. These are the revenues and the net falling. So we will have to see if they can shrink this so they can fall in line with what Wall Street investors are buying these days. Technically, let's tackle that. Clearly, I'll take out all the lines. Clearly, the story is not cool because of how it came out of the box screaming, but that was sheer stupidity. We paid the price and then some. So it went back to base, the October 2020 area, and then it's bouncing off of it. So what's important in establishing a bottom? First, stop making lower lows, which they have done, at least for now. These are weeks, at least for now. And they made higher lows, at least for now. So what do you want? You want to maintain that. The lower highs, that's fine. That's how you establish yourself and you snap out of this sell the rally mode. If you see this, you can see a channel of selling rallies. This is a rally as big as this, and it sold off, and it's starting to sell off. How do you give us the gumption to say, okay, this time it's different? You don't continue to make lower lows. You maintain this, and then you sell off a little bit, and before you know it, you will have an ascending channel, shorter term. You basically, if you know anything about riptides, you're stuck in a riptide. You swim sideways. You don't try to fight it straight up, straight down. So you swim sideways or you drift sideways to establish a base. They call that consolidating. And then you tackle a problem. That's the big picture. So you stop making lows. You start making higher lows. Lower highs is fine. The fight comes from a range this big to a pinpoint. These are weeks. The pinpoint is not, a day or half a day. And then you start making higher lows, continue to make higher lows to tackle one level at a time. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. This might be a miniature problem. So let's go see what this is. This is 1320. So now I'm going to go back to a daily chart to see if that 1320 means anything, or should we just focus on the 15? Yeah, let's just focus on the 15. Tiny little gap, is that what I see here? And look at that candle right inside of it. So I have an alert in there. What does that say? Gap closing, just for reference. It might hiccup there. Now this is a pretty nasty spill. So are these. So now when it gets to this one, let's say 14.90, let's round to a word 15, towards 15, there's going to be a decision. Because if the bears let the bulls take that, the bulls may overshoot higher towards 19. It looks like a cup and a handle in the making. And the technicians will tell you the breakout from there should be as big as the depth of the bull. I agree with that, but I think you should look left to see where there will be harsh lines that will hiccup that. And I can see one here around 16 and definitely one around 1780. So as realistic as I want to be, I'm excited about it. Let's see if these guys, the earnings, will give us rhetoric that supports the fact that, hey, there's nothing wrong. We're actually on track to continue on our aggressive behavior. So let's put the lines back in there. So the first line, that's the 1320. So I'm pretty consistent. I have a line there already. So if we go to 120, so now we're getting a little bit more granular. Right? That's that one we want to take out. So now it doesn't look so easy, right? There are a whole bunch of little mountains in between. That's the gap I'm talking about. It's kind of a gap, not gap. You know, this looks like it covered it right away beforehand. So there's not a really big gap in the volume. They have traded there before, but there is still a relative gap in the volume. So yeah, I get it. But now you can see why this could be exciting. This could actually bring the gap fill, bring us close to this one. They will fight tooth and nail. Progress finally, question mark. It's in danger. Okay, you don't want, this is not connecting lines. I'm not saying, oh, they broke the trend. No, that's behavior. See, same with this. I want us to build behavior of they sold. I want them to rally and sell it, rally and sell it. So then you'd be ascending channel versus this sell the rally mode. This is buy the dip mode. That's the algo people talk about. The machine knows, okay, I'm in the mode of selling rips. Therefore, I'm going to continue making lower lows. Or I'm in the mode of buying dips. I will start making higher lows and higher highs eventually. But first I have to deal with levels. Okay, so this is the short story and the long story. Fundamentally, if I sold a put or a put spread, I wouldn't defend it. I would take the shares. I will deal with the stock around $10 to $13 rather than to take a loss on a stupid put sale. It's easier. You can sell immediately. If I get assigned Palantir, I would immediately turn around and sell covered calls against it. But I have to be smart. I don't sell covered calls I cannot honor. So if I got assigned at 18, I don't sell a 13 covered call unless I'm willing to actually book the loss of $5 per share if they call me away. That's why I would say I would immediately turn around and sell it, but at a line that makes sense to me. There are other tricks to get out of trouble there. There are ways to use calls to where you make a butterfly. I hesitate to say it because somebody's going to experiment and hurt themselves. This is not a trade recommendation, but you can look into it somehow. When I own shares, say at a much higher price than current price, and I want to quote double down without a lot of money down, I would buy a call, sell 2 calls, and hold my shares. So my shares will be the third part of the call butterfly. If you don't know what that is, you shouldn't do it at all. Nobody should do it unless you learn it and do homework. It's tricky, but this would be a way to get out of trouble halfway. If I own shares way above, I buy a call close, I sell 2 calls in the middle, and my shares would cover the extra sale. So all in all, I want the stock to rally to the middle part, and then I get out. Anyway, if I aim to keep the shares, I should just keep the shares, right? Company's doing well, and if I got assigned shares, it's different than calls where tick tock. I can essentially hold them forever. All right, I don't have an open position on Palantir now. We've traded it actively with the group. These days, the big wins are coming intraday. Today we had a couple. It's so exciting to see, dozens of people participating actively, like 2-3 times a day, 2 big wins a day. So it's exciting to be in the live room to see tracking the options, tracking the technicals, the harmonics, confluence of techniques and different people contributing. It's just cool. What I'm saying, stop trading alone. But it sounds like the people that are watching this video already are in Discord group somewhere. Make it work for you. Pay attention and make sure it's a good group. Oh, Like the video if you like it, hate it if you hate it, subscribe if you want to. Keep it civil in the comment. I do want to discuss it. If you have other ideas, let's go. If you have other tickers you want, hit me up. Maybe I can do it.